I'd do a little video just showing some of the latest purchases, trades, things that I've picked up over the last little while. A lot of different odds and ends. I mentioned in my last video I had a lot of rocketry stuff that I had been selling and trading, and picked up some things here and there. And then I even got some items that people just kind of threw in. One guy that a friend of mine, had a bunch of hobby knives and things like that left over, so I got a bunch of blades and hobby knives that he threw in a box for me, just some stuff. And I got all these enamel paints, Testors, good old classic Testors enamel paints, and they're all good. I went through every bottle, checked them out, and they're all good. They just settled because they've been sitting for a long time, so been sitting them upside down, and but that's quite a savings right there compared to going out and buying them. I got them for free and they're all good, so they'll be put to good use. Some other stuff he threw in was a couple bottles of Jet super glue, some medium and extra thick. You know, that always comes in handy, and they're both good. A couple tubes of contour putty, the Testors contour putty. Now I used this stuff a long time ago when I was, you know, young and new to models. I remember using this, and either I didn't know how to use it, or I put too much on, or just didn't clean the parts well, or whatever. But I had a problem with the stuff. I remember it just kind of shrunk and crumbled, and just didn't really do very well. It acted like dry toothpaste. So I never really ever intended to get any more of this, you know. I've got plenty of other good putties, but I actually tried some of this again. I was playing around with it, and it actually, either I kind of know more what I'm doing now, or maybe they've enhanced it. But it actually worked really well. I was surprised. Of course, I didn't do any really large gap filling with it or anything, but for general seams and things, what I've done so far with this has worked out really well. But, you know, and that was free. There was an old tube of Pactor cement. I don't know how old this is. It's still good. You can always use some of this type of glue here and there on certain things. You had a bunch of bottles of airbrush thinner. These are for enamels. I think this one's a lacquer. They're all Testors. And there was two bottles. There's this half bottle, and then there's a full bottle of the Testors, the plastic cement, the liquid. And I've been playing with this stuff, and this is some really good glue, I got to say. It's not as hot as, say, 10X or something like that, but it's I would say it's kind of in between, you know. Something more like the Tamiya type glue, but maybe a little bit longer setting time. But actually, I've been doing some work with this glue on one particular model, and just tried using this, and it's been working very well. So I was real happy to get that. So thanks to my buddy for just throwing all that stuff in. I made my little block here. Got a magnet stuck on the front. I keep my straight edge and ruler, so I don't keep losing the thing. Drilled a couple big holes for like glues or thinners and stuff to put in it. And of course it holds the, you know, these parts holders. So I've got holes all in this thing for that. I went ahead and made that, and made up a bunch of those parts holders and stuff, and this has been really handy, that's for sure. I found this box, and I just took some of my sandpaper and cut it down into small pieces, kind of more like the sizes I generally use for this kind of paper, and just, you know, got different, got it kind of labeled, you know, the different sizes or grits. And this is really handy because I can leave this up on the bench now, and whenever I need sandpaper or a certain grit, and I don't have to dig around through my stuff and all, I kind of have a supply on the bench, kind of cut into pieces. And this is, you know, this worked out great. I've been wanting to do something like that, and I think I saw somebody else's video that had something similar. And then when I saw this box, I'm like, oh, that's perfect, you know. So I had this bottle of polish here, this Novus, that I've been using for stuff, and I've tried it on some models, but I really needed the other grades, so I did break down and buy some of the other, went ahead and got the other two grades, and I think Don Yost uses this stuff. So, you know, that come up handy from the model rocket stuff I've sold. Most of that stuff went to catching up some bills and things, but I was able to set a little aside to put back into the hobby. So I got Don Yost's DVD. I've watched it a couple times. Really nice. This is a great DVD, guys. It's well worth it. It's very enjoyable. He's great to watch. I mean, the guy's a character. If you want to see how to build models quick and efficiently and still have them come out look awesome, this would be a great DVD to get because of his process is pretty, he's got it pretty well set the way he does it. I had to pick up some of the supplies to kind of do his techniques. I've already got the Pasha H airbrush, and he uses the regular enamel paints. I went ahead and got a 6-pack of the clear, the enamel clear that he uses, and you can put, you know, the pearls. If you watch Dr. Cranky's videos, I think he explains a lot of this. And I found a deal on it for, you know, for 6 of them. I got a pretty good deal for these. I got a small box of these bottles and a couple of these caps, so I can be spraying and have a clean one for clear and this and that. So I got all the stuff ready to try out his technique. I just haven't had a chance, and I don't have a really good dust-free atmosphere right now. I've got to clean up an area outside in the garage to be able to spray without any dust and stuff getting in the paint. That's probably the hardest part of this whole technique. You got to have a dust-free place to spray. And the big thing that I got out of selling all my stuff and managing to have a little left over was I also sold a couple of my older airbrushes and got it all and went and was able to pretty much pay for this to get a Badger Chrome. And I've tinkered with it a little bit. This thing's awesome. Awesome airbrush. Got different needles, different tips, caps. The action on this thing is like just glass smooth. Spray's great. It's got all the little bells and whistles on it. Nice cool case. Kind of reminds me of a guitar case. Love this airbrush. Absolutely. And, you know, I had like 5 airbrushes, I think, at one time. And, you know, I figured why not go ahead and trade a couple or sell them or Craigslist them and kind of, you know, invest in a good main airbrush. Plus I got my Pasha H. So that was my biggest thing I've purchased over the last few months. I'm still working on the Dodge. I got back on it. Almost got her done. I've got to finish up the paint on the body. I had it all taped off. I was going to do the striping that I mentioned in another video, and it just didn't work out right. So I'm going to do some kind of graphic pattern on this, and metal foil and all that, and clear coat and stuff. So I've got to finish the body, but everything else is pretty well done aside from chrome pieces and grills and things like that. Interior is all done, motor's done, everything. Changed the stance on it, changed the wheels. I've got hubcaps that go on it, chromed, you know, the hood. Everything's pretty well done on this, just a matter of finishing up the body, really, more than anything, and then just the final assembling. So that'll probably be the next model that I show finished up. I have a friend who has a hobby shop in town, and I try to get out there every so often and try to buy a little something, at least help him out. And he was having a raffle. I brought some things that I had to donate to the raffle, you know, stuff that I didn't really need. He was so happy about that he said, he let me pick out a kit. I mean, within reasonable trade, you know. And so I was able to get this Trumpeter. I guess the camera's a little close here. It's the LAV Piranha Trumpeter. Nice kit. It's an older one, you know, and there's all kinds of aftermarket stuff you can do and this and that to it. But I just always wanted to build one of these wheeled tanks, I guess you would call them, or wheeled armored vehicles. So I got that. That's pretty much the only kit that I've got new since I've last been posting. All my air stuff taken care of now, as far as it running off my compressors and my holding tank, and all that stuff is done now. Kind of show some stuff I got. You know, I enjoy watching videos like that of people showing kind of the latest things they got. I really, especially like tools and things like that. I'm always interested in the latest putties, tools, glues, paints, things. You know, I always find that interesting. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.